All right, we're talking a lot about 3D, 4D, 5D, what is it? We're naming all these things. There's no names when you leave these bodies. There's no names. We don't even have names. We just are. Okay, but I'm going to, since we are in a matrix, and we have people who think that's a bad thing. A matrix is just a form of structure in the illusion that allows us to play out a game. Neither good nor bad, right? We can make this amazing, but I want to talk about this 5D. We're going to talk about it for a while because it seems of great interest, and we're hearing things out there about here's what it is, here's what it is. This is going to be so simple for you. You could actually shift into it today. I'm not joking about that. You ready? Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. By the way, I went for a walk. I waited a little while to cool off. Somebody said, don't you have air conditioning? Apparently you haven't been down in Florida in the summertime. No air conditioning can stop you from sweating once you step out there. It's gorgeous. I love it. Are you ready? 5D, what is it? Okay, we've heard, somebody was telling me that somebody on Gaia says, well, 5D, you're just a light body. I don't believe that for a minute, but here's the whole point of this. What you believe creates. That person's 100% right. And if you believe that, that might create a stage for you to believe that that's something outside of your reach. I'm going to bring 5D in your reach today. You ready for this? What you believe is true. There are limitless realities and probabilities, which means they're all real and they're all true. And so a belief creates. So your belief, if you said fairies visit you every night, whether I believe that or not, it's true for you. So for me to say you're wrong is really ridiculous. But then that's my belief that people are limited and that things should be the way I think. And that belief is true too. What is 5D? It's a state of mind and being. You will be in your body. You can do it today. What is it? I want to just explain something. Think about this. We hear more and more about near-death experiences. These are people that were atheists, doctors, all kinds of people that you'd never imagine come back, tell these stories, have died and gone to the other side. Why are we hearing so much about it? A, we have the internet, but B, it's because we are supposed to hear these stories. These people purposely have experienced that. The most unlikely people go over and come back to tell us the secrets of what's on that other side of the body. All right? So we're hearing more and more so that we can understand that we are not this. So what is 5D? It's a state of being. What happens when they went over? They actually didn't physically die. It appears that way. However, you can say the body died, but as long as they are attached by the silver cord, whatever it is, let's just say an energetic attachment to the body, until they sever that, they make that final decision that they're done with that journey, that adventure, they will not. The physical body isn't actually dead. It appears to be, it can appear to be dead, which has some consequences, obviously, but they can still enter it. That's why people can come back. We have bizarre stories of people knocking on the casket. I can't believe you did this. And coming back when they had no heartbeat. People have been in the morgue and they pulled them out and they come back to, what is that? All things are possible. All things are possible. These things you shall do and more. You're all God's. We got to get into that frame of mind, because unless you believe it, you're going to be the limited human being that you believe is in 3 or 4D, and that's okay. But you don't have to stay there. It's a lot more fun when you go to the higher realms. Okay, what are they? It's a state of belief. That's it. Now, when somebody says, oh, you go outside your body, yes, you do. But you don't stop being a body, because we can, the new earth is when we shift into the higher frequencies, which is another really dimension. What is it? And dimensions, there's no line where you cross over. It's just one blur of frequencies and illusions and experiences and beliefs, and it's all existing at one time. So we always, as humans, we want to define it. Here's the new earth. No. It's going to be different for everybody. Why? Because near-death experiences, when they go over, whatever they believe, they carry that with them, right? Because until you spiritually evolve, you don't get rid of all that stuff because you continue to learn on the other side. So if you bring certain things with you, you still have to work it through, which means you might come back into a material world, maybe not Earth, but you come into a material world to be tested and challenged to break through those barriers and beliefs and limits that you really don't have at all. So as human beings, we've forgotten all of this power that we wield and what we are, because there wouldn't be a Matrix game if we knew all of this. But the fun part is going back to knowing that. Now, the 5D, it is a state of mind. So that NDE that they talk about, why were they in euphoria there? Because they were outside of their bodies. But the body still existed, and they were still attached to it, and they came back in it, and went into euphoria in the body. They are now stepping into another dimension. So once you've crossed over that portal, you've opened it up. That's why they come back with all kinds of, talents and skills and stuff like that, which you could do too. But if you are in density and your limitations, you're never going to go there. It's impossible. So I teach breakthrough fear. Why are people going, oh my God, my life has changed? Fear is a limitation. And when you break through it, you have nothing else to concern yourself for. If you don't fear anything, think about this. One thing. I teach breakthrough fear, that one thing. When you break through it, you would never hold back. You'd get out of bad relationships, or let's just say destructive relationships. You say, I've learned enough. Thank you. You're a wonderful teacher. I won't say the name, but I'm moving on. You would go after those jobs. Now, I have a free masterclass, Breakthrough Fear, and I want to share something with you. How do I accomplish so many insane things? And I have. I've got a list a mile long. I actually share them in just a few examples in the masterclass. What do they all have in common? I break through fear. And that's a fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is fear is an illusion, and it's a limitation. So as soon as you break off the attachment and beliefs of fear is a story in your head. You go into a higher realm, and you actually can go outside your body. I've gone outside my body a couple times. It's a little weird. I actually was I was awake during it, and one time I was asleep, but when I was awake and went outside, I actually was viewing myself. That's the fifth dimension. You're going outside of your body because you are the energy space that's everything. So you can actually go into it, but we're so afraid. And I have to admit that when I saw myself, and I was talking to a light being, that was weird. I actually know who they are. I have 3. 1 is feminine and 2 are masculine. Light beings, I've never seen what they actually look like. They're always with me. And so they've visited me in dream state. And this time I was awake, I was meditating, I saw myself, and I said to the light being, I think I'm going to give up fear, like it was a game, like, hey, I'm getting to experience fear, but I think I'm going to give it up. And as soon as I was aware of speaking to this light being and seeing myself, there's that moment when you're like, ooh, and I went back into my body. And that is a form of fear, because it's when we go into that unknown space and we're actually coherent, you're not in dream state. That's why dream state's so powerful, because you can do anything there. But when you're awake and that happens, there's that moment where you're like, ooh, and you will come back into your body. And so the more we practice that and go outside, the more you realize there's nothing to fear. Because there's that moment where you're thinking, wow, okay, we're so attached to the body as human beings. But 5D is a dimension. It's just another dimension here. It's here. It's not someplace else. You don't have to leave your body and become a light being. When you transition, when you die, yeah, you're going to do that. But you don't have to die. You can go into 5D right now. You have to give up fear. And when you give up fear, that's the ego. The ego wants to control things. The ego will complain. The ego will argue. The ego will have to be right. Sometimes I get comments and people say, well, you should, and I'm thinking, no, I shouldn't do anything. Listen, believe, don't believe. Let's bless one another. We can have opinions, But, when somebody tells you what you should be, then that's a control tactic. And that's ego believing that they are limited and things are a certain way. It's every way and every thought and every belief. Because this beautiful space that you're in, have you looked out? Have you looked into that sky? Have you looked at the sun and went, wow, holy cow. We walk around in this amazing, beautiful creation that's unbelievable. Like robots. Snap out of it. You ready to do that? You can do it today. I want you to understand that you're fully in control. Because you're not just you. You are the entire universe. You have access to absolute all information, ideas, inspiration, everything. All of it. Don't hold back. If other people hold back or tell you not to do things or you can't, blah, 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 shut your pie hole. Shut your pie hole. When you go into consciousness, you will not stop observing your ego and fear. It's there. It's always going to be there. And you can react with it if you want. That's the human challenge. So don't think you go, oh, I don't have that anymore. Good luck. Guess what? News at 10. I gotta share something with you. You're here, and as long as you're in that body, you're going to be up against it. That's the teaching. It doesn't stop. The teachings don't stop. So more challenges. Ooh, somebody's going to trigger that ego, and you go, oh, I thought I was all awakened, and then you go, okay, wait, I got something else to work on. Because the more you do that, the more you evolve, and then you go higher and higher into that 5D, and then you start to live in existence, which makes it even more painful to live here, but you don't struggle with it anymore. People are not a problem. They are other light beings on journeys. They are your best teachers. Those people that decide not to go to a higher frequency, your best teachers. Are you going to judge them? You're not awakened. Everything is your challenge because it's an opportunity to evolve spiritually. That's it. Number one reason you're here. How do you treat other people? How are you going to treat others? It's you. That's you. This is you. Everything's you. That energy field has no division line. Therefore, that energy goes through everything. Everything's true. What are you going to believe? Come on over and take Breakthrough Fear. Take my masterclass. Platform is changing. That we're putting coaching. I'm putting coaching in there. For an entire year, you get me live and the Breakthrough Fear course. And we have a community. Why? Because it's go time. All right? And so 5D is your energy fields just expanding into other areas that are so powerful. Intuition, all kinds of things. So beautiful. Oh my gosh, let's embrace this mind-blowing journey. It's going to 5D, not to judge anyone. If you want to live in that space, and if you judge, that's a choice too. But it doesn't feel good, does it? Because that's beautiful what you're looking at. That nasty person, that's beautiful. And so are you. Don't hold back. What's holding you back? Fear. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you. This is an amazing new world. We're in it right now. Do you feel it, or are you in fear? It's a choice. You can come out of that. I love you. You're beautiful. You're perfect. You are unlimited. Namaste.